So I know everyone's waiting for a story time. So I'm just going to go ahead and just start with a story time. So, I was doing acting at the time that I met Kel. I actually met him on the set of Good Burger. I did not watch Kenan and Kel, and I think really that honestly played a lot into the reason why our marriage did not work. I mean, there were a lot of reasons why our marriage did not work out. But the main reason, I mean, one of the reasons I think is because don't ever get into a marriage with anybody who is insecure, right? So sometimes when you're with a guy who is, I don't know, insecure about themselves. So Kel is of the smaller statute. He's not an elf, but he's a little bit taller than an elf or a leprechaun. And so he always, had a little bit of insecurity about that. He didn't like his teeth. He didn't like his eyes. He had to wear these Coke bottle glasses. And he held a lot of that inside of him. Now, these are things that I did not know about him. But I will say that I thought I checked off all the boxes. I was super religious, did not have sex until I was married or planning to be married, which is why I decided to have sex with Kel. And I became pregnant the very first time we had sex, which I don't know why I didn't think was possible, but hey, I was 18. I just didn't think that's how that worked. But hey, very surprised when it did, because that is how it works. Anyway, so this man has gone on Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay, and is just on there lying. And I'm just like, I don't even know why he wants to talk about me at all. Like, I just wouldn't even mention my name if I were him, especially because he still owes me over $3 million. And it's like, dude, where's my money? And that's all I care about. But I don't know. I really don't know why he does this. I think maybe he's bored with his new family persona that he's in, because, narcissists, they like what they like, but they also like everything else, and they might not tell you exactly what they like. And that was also, very surprising for me as a young person, because I think, like, you get married, you just stay married for the rest of your life. So I figured that I had to accept Kel for who he was, because he was my husband. But along the way, I realized that there were just some things that I could not accept. And once I stopped accepting those things that he wanted me to accept, that's when the man got completely psycho and crazy, and this really began the narcissistic nightmare that I'm still like, I hope people are realizing that this is why this is still trauma, right? Because still, so many years ago, this man is lying about abortions. I mean, just the fact that you're even lying about abortions is crazy. That's like really crazy work. But then also to state that because of these fake abortions, or because of cheating, because of me cheating, this man said he wanted to kill himself. I mean, just think about how narcissistic that sounds, right? Another thing is, and I want to clarify this very much. In the interview, Kel is acting like, we did not want our son and it was a secret. It was not a secret. It was never a secret. We wanted our son. He's the one who wanted me to get pregnant with the son. We told everybody. Both of our parents knew as soon as we found out that we were pregnant. And so there was no sneaking around. It was not a shock. Every single person knew, and he made it a point to make everybody know. So like, that's even crazy to me, because when this was happening, as soon as I found out that I was pregnant, he was so excited, and his parents, everyone was so excited, and we were all excited. So this is so strange to me, this version of events that he somehow now has. I am still trying to figure out why everyone is like really truly believes this man's ridiculous lies. pregnant by 3 different men. Come on, Kel, are you okay? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because there's nothing wrong with this man just being accountable, but of course he cannot be accountable. He can't be accountable, right? So you want to go and tell some story, I'm pregnant by 3 different men while I'm married to you. Dude, are you okay? This is the story that I guess he's been telling people. He's been telling this story to people, and I'm sure the story it has now morphed into 5 different men, or I don't even know. I don't know how many men it takes for somebody to not like me. Like, you're trying to get people not to like me, or to think I'm some whore, and that somehow will change the reality of what happened, but that's just not how it works at all. And no, I was never pregnant, and no, I never cheated on Kel. And the children that he has, that he and I have together, are his children, and he's had the DNA test. He had the DNA test immediately because, you know, of course, the very first thing a man says when he's caught doing horrible things is that he's doing it for a reason. And so Kel wants to give himself a reason, and his reasoning behind why he was abusive, why he tried to kill me, is because I was pregnant by other men during our marriage. And that is so far away from the truth. I don't even, you know, it's so hard trying to disprove something that is not even possible. This is not even a possibility. For Kel, for Kel to say this, not even possible. And so for him to say this, it just shows, you know, like, you have serious mental problems, and you are trying to, you know, gather your man fans up. So you go on Club Shay Shay and you try to get the men to, you know, go against me because I'm a whore. And that must be like, you know, I'm smart. I raised these kids all by myself without him involved. He was not involved at all. He actually intentionally tried to make sure that the children had a very terrible life by selling their property, using their college money, using my daughter's wedding fund for his wedding. I mean, all of these terrible things. So he's trying to figure out a way to justify that behavior. And the way that he's justifying that behavior is saying that I was pregnant by 3 different men while we were married. And somehow people are believing this story. Does that make sense? I just want to know if that makes any logical sense to anybody. Someone who is having a crazy marriage and running around being a single mom to 2 children, writing all these TV shows, writing all this stuff, doing all this stuff for Kel and with Kel, being in rap videos with him and music groups with him, and being signed to Interscope, and in the middle of all this having multiple affairs where I end up pregnant. And and by the way, the pregnancies almost killed me both times, but somehow I just, you know, miraculously end up pregnant. And then not only do I end up pregnant, but then he knows that I'm pregnant by 3 different men, because I guess, you know, I don't know if he has I don't know. I don't even know where, like, how he comes up with these stories are beyond me. But what's more interesting is the number of people that actually believe it. And I get it. I really do, because, you know, along with pretty privilege is going to be a whole bunch of haters. Like, people just are like, you can't, you know, you didn't do anything wrong. No, I never did. I never did anything wrong. I loved and cared about Kel. I supported him. My entire family supported him. But I see why you should never do this. You should never do this. You should never, ever, ever be this supportive of anybody, because at the end of the day, they don't care. They're narcissists. He doesn't have feelings. You know, he's going to use you and use the kids, and this is what they do. You know, I have no idea what drugs he was on during that time. I know that he's done several interviews where he said he was, you know, using drugs and alcohol. And he just really needs to be honest about that as well. I know that he's still in the industry, but he was definitely sexually abused by people in the industry, and he really needs to get some healing for that, and he needs to just, come out and say that instead of trying to have the reasons as to why he wanted to commit suicide. If that's a true story, I really doubt that was a true story, but I know that he's told me before that the reasons that he's wanted to end his life were because of the child sexual abuse that he received from being on Nickelodeon. So I think he should just come out. I swear, every time he speaks, I'm just like, what? What? What is happening? Oh my gosh. So you know what? I think I'm gonna be like Tori Hart. I'm gonna go ahead and start my comedy, because if it were not my life, it's actually funny now. When I was going through it, it wasn't funny, but it's funny now because I just think to myself and like, this is probably why you don't get married at 18. This is probably why, it's not the best thing. But one thing about Kelly that's so hilarious to me is that, like his math. So, first things first, Kel, who is this person that was pregnant? Because it was not me. Like, who was this? And then other thing is, like, how do you remember all these pregnancies, but you don't remember your kids for like years? Like, I don't even know, 13, I don't know, 14. And then how do you remember all these pregnancies, but you don't remember Nick, in my cheerleading outfit, right? Like, how does your memory work exactly? Because you remember lots of things about me from a long time ago, and it's kind of odd, like how your memory works. Like, you don't remember, I don't know, do you remember your daughter in a car accident? You remember your son losing his tooth? You remember taking your kids' money? Do you remember being completely... Oh my gosh, I put a hex on him. This man is ridiculous. But you're a man of God, but you believe in hexes? Come on now. Anyway, it is very interesting. And yeah, I don't even do any sort of anything like that. Kel is very familiar with hexes, which I'm sure that's what he tried to do to me. And I'm sure he's angry that it didn't work and that I don't even care about whatever witchery he tries to do, because it does not work. And everything that he's saying, all of his lies, they always come out. The truth always comes out, and he should just be accountable for the things that he did, and he should just be honest. And if he really wants to be a godly man, he should just do the right thing and pay me back the money that you owe me and make amends and tell the truth. Like, now's the time.